Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hooked Gamer here. We're looking at waterforts. I have not said this in a while, I guess, if I ever. I just brought this ship over to collect whatever items we've got, and then we'll send it back to our main island, which is Dublin, obviously. You may remember in the last episode we've conquered Mealmouth, the way it's called. And I was wondering actually which island would be best. I think this island be good for like some of the... Oh. Yeah. Hello. There's a couple of things. I guess this guy could come by and grab them. I think this island be good for, like, you know, the garlic and whatever, because I don't think we'll be able to import everything, right? Anyway, we want to check the production of our... Yeah, so this is ramping up. Obviously the chassis is where we kind of I guess, because basically what's happening is that this is not producing fast enough, because this is additionally obviously boosted by this item. But you can see the money is just amazing with the festival. I mean, the festival could just last forever. Yeah, there's so many trains, 5 trains in a row. What's going on? Okay. This may not be working correctly, you know, it could be just wasting all of our electricity and things. It's hard to know. Anyway, as I said, we will be moving things over to this island. I think the kind of main things I want to move. But okay, so this guy now... Okay, yep, so he can come here. These items are kind of useless, I guess, but those can be sold. It's not that we need money or anything, but yeah. I guess let's keep those guys at standby. There's another ship obviously being produced. At some point we would want to go into some of the, you know, the whatever, scholars. That's the word I was looking for. But anyway, in this episode what I want to do is 2 things. Move some of the things, definitely expand for more investors. We've very few, but obviously in order for us to expand we would need to get into this production. Now this production is insane, so that's why I want to move all these buildings, because they're just causing quite a bit of pollution. So in terms of pollution, I just want to get rid of it completely out of this island if we can. So those things, once we get rid of, you know, they'll just go. And everything else. The oil, I don't think we'll need. We may have to. Yeah, we may have to actually when I think of it. But we've no oil on any other island. Yeah, we don't. There's a bit of oil here. She has some. And he's got some. And this island? Yeah. Yeah, okay, so those 2 islands, obviously, because they're our enemy. But anyway, so the ships are getting fixed. Obviously, this seems to be taking quite a bit. And I think when it comes to... Let me just see. Yeah, okay. Now the biggest thing will be to move our... what's the word I'm looking for? Construction materials over. That'll be the biggest thing. The biggest worry as well for us. Okay, so... I don't understand this. Ah, because there are no... Okay, I'm being stupid. So let's bring all of this stuff. Ship constructed. I was just wondering what's going on. I mean, the only thing I was thinking of, right, we could do is to demolish this and then settle the island afterwards. Which yeah, I don't really necessarily want to do, so let's just leave it the way it is.
Cargo stations.
Okay, so we're gonna grab all of it. We will be grabbing most of it, and so I guess let's just go all the way down to 45. Yeah, okay.
Begin the turn.
This guy basically be going back and forth, right, to
Awaiting
bring
new
all this
horizons.
stuff. They're all lined up to come here. I'd like the fact that yeah, we don't really have many weapons. Oh, because this guy come. Okay. Now, have we at least... We haven't. Okay, we still have not. So let's just see. Yeah, that's a long time away. Okay, well, at least we're doing this with that, right? So we can get all of the required resources, I guess. Obviously, we haven't got enough, and we'll need more because we'll get into beer to even boost the money further. Target has no space. Okay. So that's not good. We need more bricks. Perhaps it would make sense to make a route out of it. I'm just gonna cancel it for a moment. But at the same time, I guess I don't want to deplete all of the materials either.
Begin the turn.
So let's just drop it all off and grab, like, yeah, this and this.
Carry her about.
Yeah, we will need to start replacing those guys. I was saying it before. It's just obviously now the construction material is rather needed. So it is interesting that our islands have not been attacked. We're quite weak in... Oh yeah, there's a ship here. Yeah, so we need this... Yeah, okay. Maybe these aren't that necessary, so let's just accept this.
See you on the other side.
Pocket watches, yeah, we're fine for that. And let's just quickly upgrade those guys. We want to make sure that they're built. 25 weapons, okay. Because just in case she will be looking for us, right? She's quite weak, it seems. Well, weak. Wouldn't say that, but
New orders.
yeah. So the festival is coming to an end soon. Shortly, in 2 minutes. So the money will be going down. And let's just see. Okay, so we need this thing. For that we'll need... What do we need? Oh yeah, we have those buildings. We have those buildings. We just need to move them. Yeah, okay.
Ollia reporting in.
Okay, so target has no space.
Constructed.
Yep. What's going on here? So what I want to do is obviously have a trade union. I just feel like this island is just not the best, but it has to do. Let's utilize every single spot. And welcome guys to the longest, I guess, time lapse I've ever made. Now, as you can imagine, it's long because it took me quite some time to do it, and not just that. So there's been quite a few issues with after I've modified the mods, I guess. Namely the uranium slag that I want to import. Basically, I don't know how to change this, but what's happening is that when Tobias imports it, you know, the value sets itself to some sort of a crazy number. It's like you know, whatever, it's like minus 2 million or whatever. And I cannot change this. I don't know how to change it, but it actually fixes itself. What fixes it is that, so what's happening is that the game crashes because obviously he's unable to import that, you know, that makes no sense what he's about to import. It crashes, and then when I reload, it just goes back to normal, right? So that's basically what's going on, which I'm okay with. You know, I don't mind. But anyway, it's just, you know, a thing. But once it reaches, because what's going on is that it crashes every time I upgrade the item upgrades to a higher level. But once it's fully upgraded, it no longer crash. And to be honest, we should be fine soon. Anyway, you saw me now placing a couple of things. It was a bit of a struggle because there is a lot of heavy industry to be moved. So what's gonna happen is that I need to kind of move it in batches because, you know, we don't have the population to kind of just build it and everything. But as well as that, you know, the biggest issue that we're having is the, you know, all of the necessary items and production materials, whatever. So that in itself takes quite a bit of time. You know yourselves, anytime you move things, it does take time. It does really take time. So anyway, we have a some sort of an attack here, back and forth, nothing too crazy. The biggest problem again is that I want to make sure that we're not, you know, that we optimize everything as much as possible. That's really what I'm aiming here for. So, you know, there are 4 mines here. I'm just placing all of them very quickly, nothing too crazy. I'm checking what's going on. Obviously, there's I don't want to be attacked, and because I don't know if you're guilty of it as well, guys, but I am. What's happening to me is that I really kind of, you know, I don't really pay attention to the minimap at the bottom. I just kind of, as things happen, you know, because there's a notification about everything, so I kind of pay attention to all of this, if that makes sense. I don't really necessarily look at the minimap. So sometimes, you know, you get surprised by an attack or whatever that you didn't see coming. Anyway, so I fiddle around with this. Now I'm very happy that, you know, you can kind of build unlimited amount of town halls, I guess, and the trade unions. You know, so it really allows you to kind of cover. I don't want to overdo it either because then it's a bit too much, I find. But you know what? You can at least place 2 town hall or trade unions for, let's say, you know, a range of buildings, basically, right? So that's what I'm doing for the steam motors because the steam carriages, because obviously we need them. And the other place, you know, with all the crazy stuff that this motor has put together. Anyway, now the docklands are really needed, right? Because without the additional storage, we will be struggling. As well as that, we need additional piers because the distance is very short. So it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be tight. Otherwise, there'll be queues and things like that. So I'm just adding everything, nothing too crazy. I actually didn't have an idea what to do in this kind of corner. I found it quite difficult because of the shape of it, but it just makes sense for us to have it here. Although I feel like we may not be attacked anymore, you know, by any of our enemies anymore, you know, especially in Cape Trelawney, especially here, you know, between, you know, the main island. I wanted to say Crown Falls, but I called it Dublin. Dublin and Mealmouth. Because obviously we've a lot of defenses, our ships are stationed there, etc. Oh yeah, so just before, do you see this? So this is what I'm talking about, and right in a few minutes the game will crash, and that's basically what's gonna happen, right? So you know, this isn't anything I can fix. If anyone knows how to fix it, if you could guys let me know. But I guess this will be for future playthrough, because I'll be honest with you, I am going to uninstall this mod. It definitely brings a lot of, you know, variety to the game. I found it extremely difficult, as you probably remember from the very beginning, because you know, the artisans have just so many different things that you need to produce, and but it's just not well done. Let's be honest about it, you know. But the modder had said it again himself. I guess had I known, had I read it, because the description is so long, but had I read it, you know, I would have known. Anyway, let's move on. So I've placed the uranium deposit, whatever that's called. So that's going to be working away quite soon. We just need to wait for, you know, for Tobias to come. It's so expensive, right? This uranium thing. Oh, I just wanted to say, so this is where the game crashed. But you can't really see it because obviously of, you know, great great cutting techniques and post-production, I guess. But yeah, no, I'm laughing, but yeah, it took me quite a few times when the game crashed, because it just happened a few times. But anyway, back to this. So I noticed that the nuclear power plant cannot be covered by any item. So I thought maybe Ferris or something. It's just, you know, because I just find the requirements are quite high. I guess it makes sense, right? I mean, it absolutely makes sense. It's definitely a very late game kind of a production building. So, you know, we're kind of struggling with money, we're struggling with population, things like that. But I am going forward because I like to raise the bar. And you know, I think it's kind of important if you play on a hard difficulty, so might as well. So as you can see, you know, there's a lot of things back and forth that you need to deliver, so that's what I'm doing. I guess retrospectively I would have kind of automate things, because how do I say this, because you know yourselves, things happen. And you need to kind of keep an eye on everything, but a lot of stuff I cannot do automatically, you know, have like a route going back and forth and whatever, because you know, the resources aren't plentiful enough to do that, right? So I don't want to leave one item or one island, let's say, you know, under itemized, and the other island has everything. It's just one of those things. Especially in this playthrough, I think you need to be... I would have normally done that, you know, if we played on normal difficulty, but not here, right? We kind of need to be mindful with things. I already made plenty mistakes, I guess, you know, building things and demolishing, and, you know, like the game is set in such way that what's happening is, you know, if I cannot move anything, and if I need to delete anything, you have to pay for it, right? So it's just money all the time. It's like in real life. Anyway, so back and forth, I'm looking for items. I actually discovered, not just yet now, but at some point, I've discovered that what's gonna happen is that Madame Kahina actually offers items as well. Pretty good items, very expensive items. For some of the, you know, for some of the stuff that the modder did, you know, for like the dough and the mixers and whatever. So I bought a couple of them because obviously, you know, as I was building and developing things and whatever, that took time, so money kind of accumulated, so there was money to spend. So might as well. Anyway, because we're producing all the steam carriages, obviously this is the goal here. You know, to have the steam carriages to export stuff. So that's what we're doing, because obviously they're worth the most. Okay, so we're being attacked in the new world. So I just decided to build some of the cannons, more of them, obviously, because, you know, we want to prepare ourselves. So I kind of doubled up on the defenses here. It's kind of needed, and have the crane as well. So now I can see that they're coming, or actually it's Margaret. You can see on the mini map as well. So yeah, I want to be prepared for it, you know, because it's gonna be probably one of the biggest ones yet. Anyway, while I'm waiting, I just want to keep going with different things. Obviously, you know, time's of essence here. You can see the population. This is what I was talking about before. You know, it's a massive hit because of the different things. Now, the good thing about it is that obviously she's coming in. Obviously, she's coming in waves, so it's something that we can kind of, I guess, take care of more or less. But yeah, you can see, you know, that's a pretty big wave. Anyway, I'm just moving obviously things back and forth. You know, nothing to lose here. I'm now placing ships because I don't want to really lose them. Because of the fact that, you know, we've only 6 ships here. By the time someone comes from the new world, we'll be completely a goner here. Once Manola goes, you know, we can just say goodbye. So I'm keeping those guys in the background because obviously they, you know, they cannot take the hit. It's the turrets that need to take, or the towers, or whatever, the guns. But yeah, so you can see she came with 2 smaller waves, so we can take them easily. There's a lot of items that have been dropped, but obviously we cannot pick them up just yet. I think at this point we might have already lost a ship, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I think we're doing okay. It's against the wind for her, so yeah, they're turning around. So yeah, and now I'm just, you know, going there and picking up everything that we could have possibly picked. So that was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. So, you know, thankfully we had all the materials needed, so that was pretty good. I think I might have sent the ship as well, just beforehand, you know, just to kind of distribute things. So I was pretty happy with this. Obviously, if the ships were different, if she had steam ships and things, we would have been completely doomed, but so that worked out well. I'm pretty happy. On the other hand, I find it quite silly that we're at investors now. Obviously not a lot of them, let's be honest, but you know, we have upgraded to investors, whereas she didn't. No one else did either, so that's pretty sad. But I wonder, you know, I'm sure that mod had something to do with it, with all the items. So it's hard to know what's going on. So I guess in future, yeah, as I said, I definitely will be uninstalling it. There's a lot of other mods out there, very well done, etc. I think some of the guys were saying on Discord that they were talking about, you know, kind of maybe teaming up and whatever, and kind of doing up, because like the idea behind it is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, it's you know, to some degree it's pretty okay, like, but it's just it utilizes a lot of the other stuff. Anyway, so I was just fixing some of the towers. Obviously we want to make sure that they are ready to go should, let's say, Alonso wanting to have a go at us, but you always have to be ready, as they say, right? So that's what it is. I was just thinking, you know, we need to get to tourists, we need to get up and running with perhaps not a lot of the scholars, that's the word I'm looking for, but some of it anyway. So I was just looking at the you know the uranium, because the uranium building, whatever it's called, I can't remember, but it needs 50 of the slag, right, of 50 of the uranium slag until it starts producing. So you know, if we're importing 10 each time, it just makes no sense because it's just not enough. So what I'm doing now is that, do you remember when I said I didn't like the look of it? But obviously I have no choice now because we just don't have enough fish oil. So I had to place more. I will be placing even more further along. So I'm happy with the progress, I guess, at this point in time. You know, there's a lot of things. This game, as I said, if you can be very busy with this game if you wanted to. There's always a lot to do. If you're into like beautification and designing and whatever, you can just constantly do things. It's just, there's just so much to do. I was thinking, actually, I think I should be selling. It's just, you know, the biggest problem with Cape Trelawney is that not Tobias, the other guy, Nate, when he comes, you know, he only buys certain things. He doesn't buy everything, and he buys very little. Whereas, let's say, Archie or Adam Kuhina, they kind of come constantly and then buy a lot of different stuff. I guess you could be selling it to him if you wanted to, you know, just have a kind of ship going back and forth. And you could do like the multiple things, you know, like because the way I would set up routes, you probably notice, is one item, one ship, one route, right? Whereas, you know, a lot of you guys do the different things that the game allows you to do, you know, wait and dump if whatever, and you know, there's just too much setup there and too much thinking. For me, it's just because, I mean, this just future proves it, right? So if you have a one ship, you know, you can forget about it, you don't have to return to it, you don't have to think about it, and so it just makes sense to me anyway. But that's just my style, you know, everyone is different, everyone likes to play the way they like to play, and that's the way it is, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so you know, I'm doing all the little quests because obviously we want to make sure that we're getting the money, we're getting, you know, the best, or getting the most out of it, especially that, you know, we're not at a point where we can skip every single thing, right? 1 million is nothing, you know, even in real life. You know, you buy something for some of it and, you know, it's gone in seconds. I'm not saying that I'm familiar with it, you know, it's just, you know, everything is so expensive. That's what I'm trying to say, and the game is no different. Absolutely no different. I'm laughing because I'd love to have 1 million. I'd love to have 1 million, yeah. I'm sure we all do. Anyway, let's move on. So as you can see, because we have quite a few materials, I'm actually surprised to see, let's say, how slow the steel beams are producing. So that's kind of what's holding us back here, but it is what it is. I just bought this item, I forgot how this guy is called, but basically what he does is that, I think it's 30%, he reduces the upkeep costs of, or maybe the workforce, either of those anyway, by 30% for the ship production. So it's kind of quite important at this point in time. Anyway, so eventually I've built it because the uranium thing is being produced, and now I'm looking for the item that I was talking about, and I was actually surprised to see that there was no item. Again, you know, because we're kind of blocking the passage for her and him, Alonso and Margaret, you know, they're kind of trying and teasing and whatever, so it's just kind of silly. But then again, they're really not strong in Cape Trelawney, so we're doing okay. I'm pretty happy with the progress for sure. Okay, so I'm just checking different things, obviously the wood, everything else. I'm pretty happy with most of it. All of those bakeries and the pizzas and those and all of that needs to sorting out. I think I have an idea for it, but to be honest, I was thinking about it as I was kind of building and doing things and whatever. And I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do yet at this point in time. Because we obviously have the auto island, so it just makes sense to kind of do something about it. Anyway, that thing didn't kick in because I just realized that we have, you know, very little people. Well, now we have the population back because I've deleted the buildings, but basically the thing, what's it called? That nuclear power plant, that takes like an hour to actually kick in and process it, but once it kicked in, you know, obviously it then produces it fine, but it's just the initial, you know, that was actually quite surprising because I cannot remember it from before if it took that long. Yeah, but now it's working, so we can actually delete the other things. And what I'm doing now is I'm delivering, because I don't need these buildings, the dynamite factories yet, because, you know, we just don't have the people for it, the money and everything else, and we have like 1,500 of it on the other island. So what I'm doing is that I'm just dropping things back and forth. And this is what I was saying, that, you know, I kind of felt like the production of the steel beams was very slow, so I just decided to buy it from Archie. I think maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times I did it, until they actually started, you know, properly kicked in and properly producing it, you know, with the electricity. It really makes massive difference, otherwise they're just so extremely slow. So here we are. I was just checking out the different bakeries. Actually, I have not looked at the, you know, production and demand screen, because of those different, you know, the soy with this and dough with oil and dough without oil and dough and pizza and whatever. So there's a lot of it. So I said I'll look at it once we actually decide where we're going with this. You know, should it be this island? Should it be another island? I think it won't be this island because it's just very small, right? You know, there's a lot more to come, and I really want to make most of the power plant because, you know, it really costs us a lot of money. I mean, I think it's like almost 20k between, you know, all the buildings that you require for it. So yeah. That's quite a lot of money, right? And we're only making 27, so... Anyway, as you can see, money, I'm keeping it quite low. I want to keep it kind of above million, around million, because, you know, because it just makes sense. And because of the fact that, you know, if you're not spending money, you're not making money, apparently. That's what rich people say. But, no, you know, what's the point accumulating it if we're not spending it and when we need it, right? So it just makes sense. Anyway, I did say that it was the longest, you know, time lapse I've ever done. A lot of talking, a lot of looking at the game and kind of replaying it again for me, which is pretty cool. Again, I'm just looking at those items. I'm mostly interested in Ferris, but also I was actually managed to get quite a few good items from Archie that reduce the cost. So this item will be shared between, you know, the production here that we're looking at with those crazy buildings of the Research Institute, magical whatever, and also the steam carriages because they cost so much. So the other building, what is it? The other book, rather, you know, reduces the cost by 50%. So I find that a lot. So with all the items, I can actually tell you that I managed to get. As you can see, the money now is quite low because of it. But with all those items, I actually managed to bring the, you know, all the different expenditures and the balance up to over 100k on positive, right? Because of you were just I was just keep buying things and balancing things and whatever. So I feel like it's worth You know, because otherwise it's very difficult if you're not playing without them, you know, to manage everything, I feel anyway. So that's what it is. And as you can see, I am building or improving the different things, I should say, with items further. I kind of want to have everything going and know where things are. Have placed this long time ago, but obviously it wasn't needed until now, because this now will be kicking in shortly. Already kicked in, I guess. Yeah, it's now has. And this island is pretty much finished, you know. I'll probably will do a bit more as well afterwards. Anyway, just upgrading some of the houses, obviously nothing too crazy, but yeah. And obviously dealing with the paper. The paper is quite important, obviously, because that gives us money. And yeah, that'll be the end of the longest time lapse in the history of this channel. Okay, guys, and we're back with our completed, to a degree, I guess, island. Things have been placed in many parts of the island. I guess I didn't really get to record everything because of the fact that the game was crashing, as I mentioned. But yeah, it's pretty much, I don't want to say done because obviously, but there's much more stuff to come in. I don't want to cramp it with everything. Obviously, there's still a lot here, you know, to be moved and things like that. Yeah, the soybean is an issue. But that's okay. We're buying items. We kind of, I'm looking at things all the time, you know, just to kind of optimize it as much as possible. It looks like we kind of need some of the items because otherwise the production chain becomes quite heavy. I did think that I think I will utilize this island for all those breads, you know, the bakeries basically that we have here. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of looking at it here on this island, etc. So I think if we'll place it over there, there'll be, you know, all of that kind of weird stuff can come here, because this island is quite small for you know, everything else, so it just makes sense. In the meantime, we had quite a few attempts, you know, they're kind of sending scouts and whatever. Yeah, so this troop, I think they're kind of wanting to go for us. They were actually over at our island in a while, but yeah, that's what it is. That's why I've placed a couple of things. Nothing too major, I must say, actually. Apart from that, that's pretty much it. I've placed like the different things, you know, obviously for like defenses and whatever in the new world as well, because it was being attacked.
As always, I endure.
Yeah. So there you have it. But that's pretty much it. I didn't do too much, apart from just moving things, and honestly, it took me a while for, you know, developing all the items and whatever. Especially this. Oh yeah, and I was getting a lot of items, I wanted to say, because of, you know, we had good money coming in. So I was able to I was able to get a lot of items. This one we've had before, but I needed to place it because we started the production of the hot sauce, which we're now delivering to Cape Trelawney. Let me just show you quickly. I mean, it wasn't that needed, to be honest,
You
because
give
like
us a voice.
it only provides us one worker per house, which I think gave us only like maybe 300 or something. It's not a lot, but it's okay. You know, that production doesn't cost us too much anyway, so it's fine. The only other thing, where was it? It wasn't, yeah, we were able to get a lot of items here, but I was able to get, yeah, quite a few items here. So this obviously reduces the, you know, and these are very, very expensive. So, you know, one building is like 2,000. And because I can place, you know, there is no restriction. You can place them on one top of the other. This one is very good as well. This guy reduces the maintenance by 80%. So this building is usually like 1,000 and whatever. So now it's only, you know, 120. And similar to this, right? We have this that reduces the price of this, which is extremely high. That's why I was able to. But we will need to build those in order to build. Where did I place them? Here. This thing. Magical gardening that provides this, whatever it's called, this Alron, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna get rid of like things like this because they're not really needed that much. At some point, obviously not just yet, but yeah, it'll be fine. Yep, and then the sewing machines. So we're slowly coming away from the sewing machines because of, you know, this getting much better. We're getting much better value out of it. So yeah, you know, once it goes to 6,000 and then eventually to 10,000, we'll be able to properly adjust things. So that's pretty much it. I actually was thinking, I'm just gonna queue up perhaps one or two. Let's just build the magical shipyard. What I was thinking, let me just show you. This just does not have a warehouse. But that's okay, we'll just have it like this. Okay, so what's this about? Oh wow. Fast airship. Huh. Movements, oh wow, 60. That's crazy. Magical protection ship. Movement speed 20. Okay, look at the upkeep cost. It's like nothing. Magical battle cruiser. Magical liner. Okay, well this is quite interesting. So we would need to go to, yeah, okay. Magical loading clipper. Yeah, let's go with magical battle cruiser. Somehow 0, but let's see. Okay, 75, not bad. And the upkeep 2.5k, so not too bad either. But I do want to see what it does. Magical ships are greatly superior to normal ships in their speed, hit points, and acceleration. Further, they do not have to deal with headwinds, but can only use the tailwind. It's strong fire attack. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's very interesting, isn't it? Huh. Who would have thought? Okay. I guess we'll see. You know, it'll be interesting to see what's gonna happen with that one. 2.5 is quite steep, but then again, I mean, hit points 12,000. So that's like this guy. Yeah. It's just a pity that it's yeah, look at the amount of steel beams that it costs. It's quite crazy. And this is literally with 10%, 30% reduction. So, wow. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what it is, what it does. I'm also producing like alternative things, you know, just to have something different. And this has kicked in properly, obviously, for a while. But yeah, we can finish it here, guys. As I say, it took me quite a while. I've built this one as well in the meantime. It says it's supposed to shoot, you know, the flamethrower, whatever. It actually doesn't work that way. I tested it out. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this island in the next episode. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I think we could almost overtake the entire Cape Trelawney. You know, from Margaret and whatever. Even with the ships that we've got, I really do think that. So we'll see. We might attempt that in the next episode. Anyway, for now, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you will take care of yourselves, and as always, stay hooked.
Screenshot taken.